Education used to be about memorizing facts, but one man changed that. John Dewey's revolutionary ideas made learning interactive, turning classrooms into spaces for curiosity, critical thinking, and real-world problem-solving. John Dewey's influence on education extends far beyond the classrooms of his time. His approach shifted the focus from passive absorption of information to fostering creativity, collaboration, and problem-solving skills in students. In this video, we will tell you how Dewey's vision transformed education and continues to influence teaching today. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates. Let's get started. Early life and inspiration. John Dewey's early life was marked by a love of learning and a passion for understanding how the human mind works. Dewey attended the University of Vermont and later pursued graduate studies at Johns Hopkins University. During his time at university, he became fascinated with philosophy, particularly the works of thinkers like William James and Stanley Hall. These early influences shaped his understanding of psychology and education, laying the foundation for his future work. Dewey's philosophy of education began to take shape as he questioned traditional methods of instruction that focused on memorization and rote learning. He believed that education should be about more than just absorbing information. It should be about growing and developing as a person. This belief led him to develop new ideas that would revolutionize education and influence generations of teachers and students. Dewey's philosophy of education. At the heart of Dewey's educational philosophy is the concept of learning by doing. He believed that education should not be a passive activity where students sit quietly and absorb information from a teacher. Instead, he saw education as an active process where students engage with the material through hands-on experiences and real-world applications. Dewey argued that learning should be an interactive and collaborative process that involves problem-solving, critical thinking, and experimentation. Dewey's approach was rooted in pragmatism, a philosophical tradition that focuses on practical outcomes and the use of experience as a guide for knowledge. He believed that students learn best when they are actively involved in their learning process and when they can see the relevance of what they are learning to their own lives. For Dewey, the classroom should be a laboratory for life, a place where students could experiment, explore, and develop their abilities. Progressive education. Dewey's ideas led to the development of progressive education, a movement that aimed to create a more democratic and student-centered approach to learning. In contrast to the rigid authoritarian methods of the time, Dewey's progressive education model encouraged creativity, freedom, and exploration. He believed that schools should be communities where students learn to collaborate, solve problems, and engage with their peers in meaningful ways. One of Dewey's most significant contributions was the idea that education should be tailored to the needs and interests of each child. He advocated for a curriculum that was flexible and adaptable, allowing students to pursue topics that interested them and were relevant to their lives. This was a radical departure from the traditional standardized curriculum that focused on memorization and repetition. Dewey's vision of education also emphasized the importance of critical thinking and reflection. He believed that education should not just be about acquiring knowledge, but about developing the skills needed to think independently and make informed decisions. His emphasis on critical thinking has had a lasting impact, and many modern educational systems still prioritize these skills. The laboratory school. In 1896, John Dewey and his wife, Alice Dewey, founded the Laboratory School at the University of Chicago. This school was designed as a place where Dewey's educational theories could be put into practice and where students could learn in an environment that encouraged exploration and experimentation. The laboratory school became a model for progressive education, and its success demonstrated the power of Dewey's ideas. At the laboratory school, students engaged in hands-on projects and activities that integrated subjects like science, history, and art. The curriculum was designed to be interdisciplinary, allowing students to see how different subjects connected and applied to their everyday lives. For example, instead of learning science in isolation, students might study plants by growing them, observing their growth, and recording their findings. This approach not only made learning more engaging, but also helped students understand the relevance of what they were studying. Dewey's laboratory school was also a place where teachers and researchers could observe and study how children learn. This allowed Dewey and his colleagues to refine their methods and develop new strategies for effective teaching. The success of the laboratory school showed that Dewey's ideas could be applied in real-world settings, and that education could be more dynamic, interactive, and meaningful for students. Dewey's influence on modern education. John Dewey's impact on education extends far beyond the laboratory school. His ideas about learning by doing, critical thinking, and the importance of a student-centered approach have influenced educational systems around the world. Dewey's emphasis on the importance of experience in learning laid the groundwork for experiential education programs, which are now common in schools, colleges, and universities. In many ways, Dewey's vision of education is still alive today. Project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, and collaborative learning strategies all have roots in Dewey's work. Schools that prioritize these methods aim to create environments where students are active participants in their learning process, just as Dewey envisioned. By encouraging students to ask questions, think critically, and solve problems, educators continue to build on Dewey's legacy of progressive education. Dewey's influence is also evident in the rise of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. His belief in the importance of integrating subjects and making learning relevant to real life is a key component of STEM programs. These programs often use project-based learning to teach students how to apply scientific and mathematical concepts to real-world problems, demonstrating the lasting power of Dewey's ideas. Criticism and challenges to Dewey's theories. While John Dewey's ideas have had a profound impact on education, they have not been without criticism. Some critics argue that Dewey's approach can be too idealistic and difficult to implement on a large scale. Progressive education requires significant resources, time, and training for teachers, which can be challenging in schools with limited funding and support. Others have argued that Dewey's emphasis on student-centered learning can lead to a lack of structure and discipline in the classroom. They believe that without clear guidance and standards, students may struggle to stay focused and achieve academic success. In response, proponents of Dewey's philosophy have pointed out that his approach does not advocate for a lack of structure, but rather a different kind of structure that supports active, meaningful learning. Despite these challenges, many educators continue to find value in Dewey's ideas. His vision of a classroom where students are active, engaged, and motivated to learn remains a powerful goal for educators around the world. Dewey's legacy. One of the most significant aspects of John Dewey's philosophy is his belief in education as a means of promoting democracy. He argued that education should not just be about preparing students for jobs, but about preparing them to be active, informed citizens. Dewey believed that schools should be places where students learn not only academic skills, but also how to work together, communicate, and solve problems as members of a democratic society. Many famous individuals, organizations, and institutions have adopted John Dewey's methods. For instance, notable educational thinkers like Maria Montessori have drawn inspiration from Dewey's progressive philosophy. His ideas also heavily influence companies like Google, which encourages hands-on and collaborative learning through initiatives like Google for Education. Schools worldwide, including Finland's renowned education system, integrate Dewey's theories to foster critical thinking and creativity in their students. His influence continues to shape modern education globally. That's all for now. I hope you have enjoyed watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thank you for watching till the end.